Hello students, welcome to the playlist, a series of videos on statistics for CFA, for FRM, for actuaries, and data science and machine learning. I'm super excited because today we begin something very powerful that will help a lot of students, a lot of professionals. This is a complete structure journey into statistics, or what I prefer to call as applied statistics or quantitative analysis. See, we all know statistics is everywhere. If you're pursuing finance through CFA, you should be very good with statistics. If you're pursuing FRM, want to become a financial risk manager, you should be excellent with statistics. And if you're trying to make a strong career in data science and machine learning, then your foundation of statistics need to be very, very, very strong. And this playlist of videos on statistics covers all. In CFA, for example, for some reason, they call statistics as quantitative methods. In FRM, they call statistics as quantitative analysis. But at the end, it is statistics. And here's the truth. If your foundation in statistics is weak, every advanced topic, every advanced concept will feel confusing and difficult. But if your foundation is strong, everything suddenly becomes clear and easy to understand, even in other topics. And therefore, this series is designed so that you finally say, now I understand what's happening, or I can trust my concept in statistics. So these series of videos are planned very intentionally. Each session is very short, around 10 to 15 minutes. It's focused, it's precise, it's crystal clear. No unnecessary theory are discussed in one of the videos, so no confusion. Just the building block you truly need for any one of the curriculum, which is written here, be it CFA, be it CFA, be it FRM, be it actuaries, be it data science, be it machine learning. And the reason for creating these building block is that what I've seen, what I've observed, that at the last moment of examinations of CFA, FRM, or actuaries, I've seen students struggling with just two, three concepts, not more. And just for those two, three concepts, they lose faith in the whole topic. So what we did, we divided those key concepts in building blocks. So if you want to just understand one of the topic, you jump only to that video, which you want to see, which you want to understand, not to watch a lengthy video on quantitative analysis statistics. Just try to understand, just go to that video and watch it. That's it. And after watching these series of videos, I promise you would be able to open any book, any curriculum, be it CFA, FRM, actuaries, data science, and start solving the question. Okay, so let's begin with the roadmap of statistics. The roadmap for statistics. Because before learning anything, what do you need to understand? You need to understand a blueprint of your topic. We first need clarity on what. What exactly do I need to study? Okay, statistics, what I need to study in statistics. So, this roadmap will tell you that what you need to study. In statistics, there are two big pillars. One is descriptive statistics, another is inferential statistics. Differential statistics simply means that you are describing the data. You are describing the data. In a very simple term, it means what is the look and feel of the data. What is the look and feel of the data? What is the center of the data? What is the length and breadth of the data? Is the data symmetric or not? Is the data thin or fat? That is descriptive statistics. So you start with descriptive statistics. Just like you describe a person appearance, statistics describe how data looks. Which statistics? Descriptive statistics. In descriptive statistics, in descriptive statistics, we are not predicting anything here, only understanding the data as it is. That's all. I repeat, I repeat, only understanding the data as it is, not predicting anything. But then comes the second pillar, which is inferential statistics. Inferential statistics, where we begin to predict, where we begin to conclude and forecast. Because why you are studying data? What is the need to study the data? The need to study data to conclude and forecast about the future. That's why you're studying the data. And that what you learn in inferential statistics. What you do, you take the inference from the limited data or the sample data or the historical data. We try to predict something meaningful about the future. Okay? So that is what is inferential statistics. See the data and infer from the data. That's why inferential statistics. Now let's zoom into both descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Okay. In descriptive statistics, the focus should be on moments. The way you talk about a human being, like what is the length, weight, height, and color, the same way we talk about data, the look and feel of the data. So what moments describe? Moment describe the look and feel of the data. So your first moment, there are 4 moments. Moment 1, moment 2, moment 3, moment 4. The first moment talks about the center of the data. What? Center of the data. The second talks about the spread in the data, the dispersion in the data. In Hindi, we say फैलाव in the data. फैलाव in the data. Dispersion in the data. Or you can say what is the length and breadth of the data. Moment 3 talks about whether the data is symmetric or not. And moment 4 talks about whether the data has fatness or thinness in the tail. We'll talk about it. So we'll first discuss moment in descriptive statistics. And once you understood moments clearly, then we'll discuss what are the different ways to represent the data or present the data. You might already be aware of frequency table, bar charts, histogram, then cumulative graph, box plots. So there would be one video explaining these concepts. Now let's jump into inferential statistics. In inferential statistics, a lot to be discussed. And the core of inferential statistics, the backbone of inferential statistics is probability. That's why you see probability basic and probability distribution. And then you talk about estimation, hypothesis testing, and correlation and regression. These are the key concept in inferential statistics. Let's talk about each concept for a while. At least let's invest 1 minute on each concept. Probability. Why probability? Every prediction in finance, in marketing, in business, in AI, weather forecasting, sports happens in what? Probability. You can't be 100% sure about the future, right? We don't have the crystal ball to see the future, right? We are not the astrologers. So the way we predict is like, I am 70% sure that the market will move up, or I'm 90% confident that the return will be around 5% of the stock. Even these AI models like ChatGPT or any other AI model uses what? Probability. And without that, they cannot function, right? So from probability, we'll try to build the basic of our statistics. So probability. And in probability, we'll try to understand the key concepts like what are the rules of probability addition and multiplication, what is conditional probability, what is unconditional probability, what is Bayes theorem, so on and so forth, which is written there. So there would be videos for each one of them. Then probability distribution. Now probability distribution is divided into 2 sections. One is, as written here, discrete variable and continuous variables. So there would be discrete probability distribution and continuous probability distribution. Now discrete probability distributions are Bernoulli, binomial, and Poisson. And from these Bernoulli, binomial, and Poisson, what we have to study or get developed to the continuous distribution like normal distribution, T distribution, chi-square distribution, F distribution, right? We'll try to understand what is the difference between sampling distribution, sample distribution, and population distribution. We also try to understand the central limit theorem, which is the key concept for the normal distribution, right? And then we try to learn estimates. 2 kinds of estimates. One is a point estimate. You say that the return would be 5%. I'm 70% confident about it. That is a point estimate. But you say I'm like 80% confident the return would be between 4% to 6%. That is a confidence estimation or interval estimation. So we'll try to understand these 2 kinds of estimation. Once we are pretty good with the estimations, basically estimations and hypothesis testing goes hand in hand, but hypothesis testing is critical, super critical, because what you're doing in inferential statistics, is that you're trying to predict the future. You're making an assumption, you're making a belief, you're deciding on certain data points. So what you need to do, you need to test your assumption. And the way you test your assumption, the way you test your forecasting is what hypothesis testing. So you need to understand the concept like what is null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis, type 1, type 2 error, p value, z test, t test, chi-square test, f test, all these concepts. And then we'll try to understand correlation and regression. So till now, whatever I have spoken was for one single variable. Now, how two or more variable move together? For example, India GDP and the stock return of Tata Steel, how they move together, right? How one influence other. So for that, we study the concept of multivariate data, and that is why correlation and regression. So in upcoming videos in this playlist, you will have all these building block concept with utmost clarity discussed. And one thing, listen carefully. If you master these block, you're not just done and dusted with statistics. You're ready for any advanced topic like time series, machine learning, quant models, LLMs, which we'll cover in the playlist definitely. For example, we'll cover time series, we'll cover simulations, we'll cover those advanced topic. So everything in the series has been designed so you don't have to just memorize, you understand, you trust the concept and you apply the concept. So in the next session, the building block video that will start is from the descriptive statistics, and we'll discuss that what are the moments, what they really means and why they are important. Okay, with that, we'll stop the discussion here. Thank you. Have a nice day.